Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to your boy's channel. Your boy is back with a brand new video, and we gotta take a second to talk right now, man. All right, because I've been seeing people posting videos talking about the possible sale of Warner Brothers to either Netflix, which has recently come up, or Paramount, and what this could mean for the future of the DCU. Because, as you know, if it gets sold, possibly Netflix and or Paramount may want to hire their own creative head and creative team for the DCU. Now, I don't see that happening just because if this show would have went down before James Gunn was announced as the head or co-head, I should say, then I could see that happening. But even with this first film, I kind of think they're just a little too knee deep into the DCU for them to go ahead and about face. I can't see Paramount or Netflix deciding to be like, you know what, we're gonna hire our own creative head and go in a completely different direction for the third time. It just makes zero sense. But also, I was looking online trying to see where this article came from, where possibly, possibly the DCEU could be brought back on Netflix. I believe if Netflix buys out Warner Brothers. Now I'm not holding on. I'm not holding on to any hope that that's gonna happen. Okay, I highly doubt 100% that that would be a possibility. It just wouldn't make sense to have two DC universes, one for the theatrical and one for the Netflix run, to have both going at the same time. It makes zero sense. So I do not see us getting a DCEU return going head to head with the DCU. It just isn't gonna happen. Now, I gotta do some more research, maybe watch some more videos who are more in the know than I am, and see what this could possibly mean for James Gunn's future, which I think right now is pretty safe. I think right now it's pretty safe. Um, Superman made money. Did it make the money? I think did it make the money? I think that a lot of people were expecting it to make. No, but it made some money. So what that means to me is that you know, James Gunn's job right now is safe, but I'm starting to have my own personal doubts on what his vision is. And I know we only got one movie out so far and one animated TV show. Well, in one live action TV show, but it's like I feel like everybody is saying the truth. James Gunn is putting out his own personal projects. He's not really working on anything that is focused on putting the best foot forward and putting the best heroes forward, except for the new Superman. But obviously, he had to have a big name hero make a splash first and foremost, and there was nobody bigger than Superman. Now, my issue is that with Superman, I just didn't care for the movie. Okay, even the clips I've seen, it just ain't my cup of tea. But the thing is, as I'm sitting here, I can't see, you know, these companies deciding to go in a different direction and saying we're gonna bring in somebody else. It just wouldn't make any sense unless the DCU is doing that dang bad to the point where they're like, we really gotta bring somebody else in. I feel like we stuck with what we got, and that is James Gunn being the co-captain of the ship. And do I think if Netflix bought it out, it would be excuse me, I'm fumbling over my words here. Do I think if Netflix bought out WB that their movies would be specifically put on Netflix? No, I think they would still have a theatrical run, simply because I just feel like it's just too much money to still be made in theaters that they would honestly um, cut the movies and keep them just in the Netflix bubble. But James Gunn, man, like I said, I think he's safe right now, you know. And a lot of people are saying that this sale is going to happen, most likely with Paramount. And I don't know how to feel about that, man. I don't know how to feel about that. Obviously, who knows if Paramount is going to change the name or if they're just going to take the Warner Brother movies and TV shows and, of course, put them under their umbrella and then go forward from there with their own thing. But like I said, when it comes to James Gunn and what he's going to do with future projects, some people are already saying that Brainiac is possibly the next villain going into the new Superman film, and I'm not super excited at all. Not because it's Brainiac, but simply because of just the story that uh, the way that James Gunn is telling the story of Superman, feeling like a Saturday morning cartoon come to life, but just on a little bit more goofier side of things, right? So I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And his job is safe. And like I said, unless the numbers really start to fall going into the future, then James Gunn is going to be the co-head of the DCU for the foreseeable future. And that doesn't mean that I want to see it crash and burn. I want to see it be successful, but I just want a more serious side of things, which I know we got with the DCEU, but you know, it is what it is. And that's something else that I'm thinking about as I'm sitting here talking to y'all as well. You know, if the sale goes down, what kind of influence could the new Paramount bosses have on James Gunn? Because obviously we saw some of the input from the Warner Brothers heads, where I believe each uh, event Superman was supposed to go through in this movie, it was supposed to take place one day after another, and then eventually James Gunn wiped out the daily cards, and it all took place, I believe, within a day. So I wonder about the influence and the just whatever the new studio heads could possibly have in store for James Gunn. Um, as far as they want to see what they want to see. And this is where I think it messes up it muddles the waters because studio heads, unless absolutely positively need be, should not be stepping in to any kind of creative decisions that the director or the co-C head of these companies are making. Because at the end of the day, just cut the check. Let the creative heads who know about these stories, who love these stories, who grew up watching them and playing the video games, let them tell the stories. As long as what James Gunn is doing is fitting in this universe, then that's okay for the fans. Do I want a more serious take? Yes. Would I rather go back and watch the DCEU? Some of it, not all of it, yes. But this is what we're getting when it comes to the DCU. And I'm hoping that, if this stuff, if Warner Brothers is sold to Paramount or Netflix, that they continue to, just let James Gunn tell a story. Obviously, right now, I'm not a fan of what he's telling with the Superman story. We still got Supergirl coming up. Who knows? I may like that. Clayface, I don't know about that. I just think he's putting something out there to kind of stall out because he isn't for sure about the direction he wants to go in with Batman. Because if Robert Pattinson's Batman was trash, then this would be an easy way for him to bring in his own Batman to the DCU. But since Robert Pattinson's Batman was a hit and we're getting a sequel, he's having to put something out to kind of, go off the beaten path a little bit and, until he figures out what he wants to do. I know something online said he's writing the script. He's working on the script or whatever. Somebody working on the script, and then eventually we'll see what happens from there. But I do wonder if it's gonna be like an older Superman or a younger Superman. I'm not Superman, excuse me, Batman. I'm saying Superman, Batman. I do wonder if it's gonna be a older Batman or a younger Batman. I don't know, but I just want to give y'all my 2 cents on the whole. Hey, Warner Brothers is being sold possibly to Paramount or Netflix, and I'll have to look more into it to do more research. But we'll wait and see what happens, man. Anyway, post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think about my comments, and let me know if anything I possibly have missed in the comment section below. I thank you all for watching. Catch you in the next video, and I'm out.